All right, we're live. Hello, everyone. Can everyone hear us? I hear
hear you.
echo for some reason. Maybe that was from my Twitch stream. Oh gosh. How does it sound now?
Sounds good.
Okay, cool. So welcome everyone. This is, I think, our 4th or 5th episode. So should we start with a few announcements, Sean? And then we can go into intros.
I don't have a list of announcements.
Okay,
sure.
I'll start with the announcements. So, 2 quick announcements. So one is about our community builder program. So Michael and Horacio, as we're going to introduce them, but they're both in the community builder program, which essentially recognizes folks in the community who have been building content, who have been speaking about Amplify, maybe built demo apps, written blog posts. And we just released the second cohort of folks, but I know you both have been in since the beginning, which I think was earlier this summer. But it's an awesome program, and Elise is going to put the link in chat, and you can apply there. So it's a great way to really get recognized. So there's some benefits where you can get some AWS credits, a swag box, you get some flair in our Discord channel. So I definitely recommend applying if you're passionate about Amplify. And then the second announcement that a lot of folks probably know about is reInvent. So reInvent is the annual AWS conference. It normally happens in person in Vegas, but of course, due to everything, it will be online and free. So that's the one upside. It is going to be free this year. And the style is going to be a bit different. So it's going to be more like content on demand. And there's going to be several courses, or I should say, content from Amplify itself around mobile. So that'll be a great opportunity, honestly, to learn about new services, hear about announcements, as well as just refine your skills. Let me see when the date for that is. Actually, I don't have the date. Let me pull that up quickly. So yeah, it's November 30th to December 18th. So it's actually 3 or 4 weeks this year. And you can sign up for free. So all you need to do is just sign up on the site, and I believe we'll have the link. Yep, Elise already put that in. So yeah, without further ado, Sean, do you want to introduce our guests?
Yeah, sure. So Horacio and Michael are two of our favorite community builders.
Yeah.
Not that we have any favorites. They're all a favorite. But I've definitely we've hung out a lot on each other's live streams, and I just am really they're a joy to watch, and they really share their passion very generously, and I think they're role models as far as I'm concerned with learning these things. And Horacio I actually met in Barcelona, and I think he actually streams in Spanish. Is that right? Amplify in Spanish.
Yep. Every Monday at 10 p.m. Spanish, so that's Central East Europe time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you want to plug your Twitch? Actually, we could. Matt.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I can do that. I'm gonna put it in the chat.
You can you can put it in the chat, but then Matt actually can flash it on the screen so that people can see it.
Okay.
And then Michael, obviously, so this thing is because of Michael. I was like, I gotta get a light because this looks dope as shit. And so Michael has a lot of style. Sorry, dope as heck, and has a lot of style, and also does a lot of. I think you do some live streaming, maybe not as much. What's your situation, Michael?
Yeah, Horacio's got me beat on the live streaming stuff. I have a YouTube channel. You can check me out at Michael Liendo or /YouTube, whatever. But I try to kick out, I don't know, a couple blogs a month over on Dev. How do you say that? How do you guys say that? Is it Dev or do you say Dev2?
Yeah.
Dev2. Yeah.
Dev2? Okay. But yeah, you can check me out there. I got some amplified content up, but I really just try to be active, answering questions on Discord, Slack, Twitter. That's really I let Horacio do the streaming stuff, but I do check out his streams every once in a while. It's a good time.
Spanish.
Good, I'm fluent.
Oh
yeah.
Right.
Wow. Yeah. I'm in his chat all the time. I joined the Spanish ones.
What languages do you speak, Sean?
mostly English, some Chinese, and then a little bit of Spanish. So I was on his stream like trying to translate myself into Spanish, but then like I admit to cheating by popping some English into Google Translate first, just to make sure I got it right.
Double check.
But like I think like colloquial Spanish and internet Spanish is very different from like college Spanish, which is the only thing that I took.
Yeah.
So yeah. Like no one says que, it's just Q.
Yeah.
So, should we talk about what the state today is?
Let's do it.
Yeah, take it
well,
away.
yeah, I'll let you guys take that away.
Oh yeah, is that
that means you.
awesome. Yeah. So one of the things what inspired today, which is all about how do you collaborate on Amplify projects, is when I was introducing Amplify to a previous company I was working at. It was great, but it made me like the sole developer. The big question was, how do we bring this so that the entire team can take advantage of it? So I, at that time, as many people say, like in the early stages of Amplify, it was uncharted territory, but it's come a long way. And I'm happy to say that the team has done an amazing job in making it pretty accessible for everyone to take advantage of with just a few simple commands. So that's really going to be the focus of today. I mean, we're in the last weeks of Hacktoberfest, but if you come across any Amplify projects, hopefully this does give you the ability to contribute to them, as Horacio and I are going to be demonstrating today.
Sweet.
Yay.
Do you want to? Who wants to share their screen first, and then I can put it up there.
I'll go first, and then we'll switch it over to Horacio later on.
Okay.
So
Sweet.
basically, for people that doesn't know what we're gonna do, we're gonna try to replicate how two people in the same team will work with the same Amplify project, and we'll show the workflow, how Michael will create some code. Then I'm gonna pull that code, add some more code, and then we can merge and collaborate together. So that's essentially what we're gonna do.
Sweet.
Yeah, team workflow is a pain point for people. I mean, not so much a pain point as it's just hard to document.
Yeah.
So it's just better to just show people. So
What is?
I think Michael, you have to click the share screen thing.
Share screen.
What is
There
the
you go.
app that you're going to use just to demonstrate this?
We try to keep it as simple as possible, and we just have a to-do app to demonstrate, which I have it pulled up. So
Okay.
let me
Of course, why not a to-do app?
There's so
should
many
have a
to-do
to-do
apps
Yeah,
out there, though.
there are not so many
my-
to-do apps. There's always
My aspiring
more
my
space.
aspiring job title is senior to-do list architect.
Yeah.
Just make to-do
Okay,
lists
should I
on
add
your
the
own.
screen, Michael?
yeah.
Boom. Wait, I'll put you at the top here.
Cool. So let's go ahead and let's just do it. Quick walkthrough on the application we have. As we mentioned, it's a to-do application. And as you might imagine, right, if I put in something like walk the dog, I can go over here, I can hit enter, and you get walk the dog. I can delete previous to-do apps, and I can also mark them as completed by clicking the emoji on the left. Boom. And we're all set. Now, if I refresh, there's no persistence. This is all just in local state. If we take a look at the actual code, right over here, is that a good size? I tried to bump
Yes.
it up. Cool.
Yeah, that's good.
Nothing too crazy is going on. I mean, if you've made a to-do app before in React, I suppose. We do got some awesome styling provided by Horacio with Tailwind. You have your header. You have a form to enter in your to-dos, and then those to-dos get displayed in our to-do list. So that's pretty much what we're working with, but we want the ability to have multiple developers make this a cloud-based to-do list. Now, this takes a couple different approaches to make sure that you're doing it right. And again, as I was sort of shipping this and trying to get it to the previous company I was at, I wanted to make sure that we could have a dedicated pipeline. So that way we have a master branch. We also have our code that is going to be deployed over to like a staging or a dev branch as well. So we have a single source of truth. Now to demonstrate that, let me go ahead and show you what you'd have to do to get your project initialized with Amplify. And if you haven't done it before, it's Amplify Init. This is possible because I went ahead and I already installed the Amplify project just to save on time. But it asked me a couple of commands here. What's the name of the project? Enter a name for the environment. Typically, you would just hit enter here. But
can you resize the terminal so at least it's not cut out? No, just move it, put it bigger, wider.
big.
I don't
Oh
know.
yeah.
There you go. There you go. So
cool. Now I'm on my master branch, and I want my master branch to be production. So in this case, enter a name for the environment. I'm going to go ahead and say prod. From here, Amplify does like to help you out. So default editor, VS Code. We're building in JavaScript. It's a React app. And then since we're using create React app, it sort of already knows the configuration that we have. So source, build, the typical scripts that you have going. The last part here is that it asks me for a profile. So do you want to use an AWS profile? I already have one set up, so I'm going to say yes. And I have a default profile that I can go ahead and choose. Once we do that, it goes ahead and it sort of initializes my project. So it creates me a default S3 bucket, sets up the permissions and the roles, all the fun stuff that no one likes doing within AWS. This takes care of for you, which is awesome because I don't like doing that. So yeah, we'll just give it a second to do its thing.
yay.
We need
So-
product placement during these times.
Yeah,
Like a
maybe quite
sponsor?
something.
Yeah.
Elevator music.
Elevator music. Yeah.
So I went ahead and I created my first environment, and then as mentioned, I named it prod. So the cool thing is that if I were to go ahead and check out this Amplify folder that got created for me, you can see that I have this team provider info. And sure enough, it has a single environment called prod. This is great, but as I mentioned, I'm going to go ahead and have prod, and then I won't do staging, but I'll do like a dev branch as well. So
And the GitHub repo is shared between both of you.
yeah, we both have it. And then we could probably post that in the chat in a second as well. But from here, I'm going to go ahead and check out a new branch called dev. So we have that. And
So it sounds like someone on Twitch is just curious though. So is this the prod file that you would share with the developer for other platforms? Like, I guess, how does Horacio pull down the same configuration?
oh, super good question. We have that coming. So it's part of the demo. So
Okay, so we'll get there.
Cool. I'm glad that there's so much interest in this.
And is this your real theme? Someone else is curious, or you did this just special for the stream today, like in VS Code?
I knew this question was coming.
Because the coloring is pretty intense.
This isn't my theme. This is, what is it? Something beta?
I do
I
not
don't
know.
It is.
You can do Control Command P and.
Oh, thank you.
Let's see it. And then theme.
I think it's Command Shift. Yeah.
Yeah. Activate Scarlet Protocol beta is the theme.
What?
Yeah. I do some crazy themes.
Michael used everything in beta.
I do.
Yeah. Yeah. If it's out there, he's not using it anymore. He just changed.
Let me It's so
Crazy.
true though. It's so true. On my master branch, I'm gonna go ahead and do Amplify env list just to demonstrate like Amplify is aware of a certain environment that I have, and it's just one, right? It's prod. Now on this branch, I'm gonna go ahead and create one more. So I'm gonna say Amplify env add. And it says, hey, do you want to use an existing environment? Which is kind of cool because if I said yeah, it would pull up that prod branch for me. But in this case, I'm going to create a brand new one. So I'm going to say add. I'm going to say no, I don't want to use anything existing. And we'll call this one dev. So this is very similar to how you would do like git checkout. right? Check out a new branch. In this case, we're like checking out a new cloud-based backend. Same thing. Do you want to use a profile? Yes, I do. That same default profile for me.
Yeah, and also to add more information, like to also respond that question. Whenever you create an environment and you see all the things that Amplify is doing for you, whenever you create a new environment and you check out that code, that information is there. So anytime you do Amplify Init, Amplify Amp, whatever, it knows what has there. So it's easier for Amplify later to create new things, clone, check out, to do whatever it needs to do with each environment that is set up already in the code. So
awesome, absolutely. I was saying this before, Amplify env list, you'll see that I have 2 environments, and just note that this asterisk, it means sort of which cloud backend am I currently working with. Now I'm on my dev backend, but I'm going to go ahead and be on prod, and the reason why is because you want those 2 to be in sync, right? You want your master branch to be with prod, dev branch to be with your develop branch. I think I made that Git branch already. Okay. Yeah,
Yep.
but let me go ahead and commit this.
I didn't even. It's like
I hate doing it this way. Let me.
um,
Holy.
there's a
no.
question in the chat. Gold points. Adding new env is for like making different landings for like dev, QA, release. I would say yeah. Like imagine any like development pipeline. You create a feature, you push it to the dev environment, staging, however you want to call it. That like goes to CI, builds, test, do everything that it needs to go, goes to QA, passes QA, and then moves it to every environment, to every stage, proper like accordingly. So yeah, essentially you can do that with environments too.
Yeah, a lot of companies actually use that method where you can't, like, master is just like not touch. You can make PRs to it, but you can't actually like push straight to it. So just to showcase that, you get your master branch and your backends all configured. I went ahead and I have this develop branch. It has all the same configuration as master. And I'm just going to go ahead and push that as well. So git push.
You haven't synced this with Amplify yet. Amplify isn't aware which branch is what yet, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. Okay. There's no push, like he hasn't pushed anything yet.
Yeah, so far this is just standard GitHub stuff. Amplify stuff actually comes now, where we have this on GitHub, and we want to make sure, just like how you said, Amplify is aware. So what I'm going to do is head over here, and let's just go to the Amplify console.
You can open it from the command line too, right?
Yay!
You can, but something that I realize is a lot of developers, when they're like, you could do Amplify add hosting, and that'll do it from there. But I've realized that a lot of people just don't realize that Amplify is a service.
A lot of people don't realize that it exists in the console.
Just because you're used to interacting with it from the CLI, and you sort of leave it there. But Amplify, for those that are wondering, comes in 2 different flavors. It has its own service as well as the CLI. And the service that we're talking about is here on the console. And it's sort of that Netlify Vercel style, where if you click on it, you can go ahead and connect an app.
To me, it's kind of, in my opinion, for example, if you have a React app, you could actually just use Amplify hosting just literally to host the app. And it gives you S3, CloudFront, a really cool CI/CD setup where when you merge, it auto deploys. So I almost feel like you're right. There are these 2 flavors, but we don't talk a lot about them.
Yeah, they just don't get it doesn't get the love. But you authenticate with GitHub or whatever service provider you're using. You select branch. And now that I'm using my master branch, I can go ahead and get this configured. It recognizes that it's built with React. And then it's saying, hey, what backend do you want to deploy? because we saw
Wow.
in your project that you have prod and dev. Well, I want that master branch to be associated with prod. And sort of mimicking that experience that people might be used to, you could add in things like environment variables and things like that. But for me, I'm going to go ahead and click next and save and deploy.
Why it's deploying? Should we address a few of the comments? Because I think we missed a few.
Yeah, let me check this out. Oh, wow, I didn't know that it had auto deploy. Yes, it does. And so now that it's hooked up with GitHub, anytime you push a commit up to GitHub, it's going to kick off a new build.
It also has PR, like deploys for every PR that you do. You can enable that too. So yep. So enable previews, that's the name. So that's very good also.
Yeah, definitely. And another feature, while we're like gushing over this now, is access control. So right now I have it set up so that it's publicly viewable, meaning when this gets built, it's going to give me a URL that I can check out. And I think a lot of us are familiar with that experience. However, I can manage the access and say, well, how about it not be available to the public? You know, I can go in and restrict this with a username and password. And that way you can only get into it if you enter this in.
You know, I keep forgetting this feature. I like publicly exposed something and then someone told me, and I should have just done that.
Yeah, definitely. Instead of adding like full blown off, you can just do that. And it integrates with Route 53. So if you wanted to add in a domain, you can add in domains in here as well.
There's a good question that I don't know how to answer. Can I have two environments on master branch? In serverless, we do that and define a stage name of environment. When we deploy, each environment is a separate AWS account.
Yes. So when you saw me switch environment accounts and like within the CLI, and I click yes, and just to demonstrate that I can associate prod with that, and it asked me to pick an AWS profile. If I have multiple AWS profiles set up, I could say, yeah, pick that one, which is in a different region, but still be tied to that master branch. You can absolutely do that. Cool. So so I have this, and right now it's building. Here's the link where I can go in and check it out. While that's doing its thing, I'm going to go in and connect that develop branch as well. Notice that it automatically picked it up. It has the backend here. And here's another situation where I can pick prod, and then I can also pick dev as well. And then I'll go ahead and save and deploy. Great. This is wrapping up. Notice that I got provision, it built, and right now it is deployed. So we can actually check this out. And this is live, right? Anybody can hit up this endpoint. But
can you send it to us?
Yeah, can you share the link?
No, I want to be stingy. Where am I putting this? In the Twitch chat?
Twitch chat, so they can all write their to-dos.
There we go. And then the really cool thing is that we have verify here, which isn't in a lot of service providers. If I click on verify, what this did is it took, it used Puppeteer. Yeah, it uses Puppeteer to generate screenshots of my application. So I can see what it looks like on different devices. Which is
I never knew that.
It's the bee's knees. You should check it out. You should.
Wow.
But yeah, we have all that stuff set up. You can obviously roll back and redeploy previous versions of your application. I've heard horror stories of people like overwriting stuff. It's as simple as redeploying. But with that said, I have my application is hosted, and I have a dev branch that anybody can go ahead and make PRs to. And when I'm ready, I could be in control of saying, okay, let me go ahead and merge my dev branch into master, which is going to kick off a new build, and it's going to deploy all of those changes, which is super, super powerful. I can create as many environments as I want. The thing you probably want to be mindful of is that with pricing, you are billed 1 cent per minute, which isn't a whole lot. We're talking pennies here, but at the same time, just something to be conscious of. If you're constantly deploying, you are going to be charged in that regard. Last point before I switch it over to Horacio is what happens if like I'm updating my documentation, right? Do I have to redeploy my entire site whenever that happens? And the answer is no. If you add in your commit message, let me see if I can find it here. Build settings, all the way at the bottom, maybe.
What are you looking for?
How do you bypass the automatic build?
Oh my gosh, I was trying to do that a while ago.
I have it.
Feel
I just didn't know
like
where it
it's
was.
a checkbox.
Well, that'll disable it for like the entire time. I'm just gonna. I don't know where to put it.
Oh,
I'm gonna
you
put
mean
it here.
temporarily?
Yeah, if you type in skip -cd in brackets like that, then that'll go ahead and
Whoa! How did you
bypass
zoom
it.
it?
Yeah, wait, what will that do?
So like in your commit message, if
I never knew that.
yeah, it's I'll pull up the docs, but yeah, this has been a thing for a little bit now.
There should be like a blog post, needy tricks about Amplify
Yeah.
by
I-
Michael Liendo.
I've been promising that for a while, and I'm sorry that it hasn't come out yet. But yeah, at the end of your commit message,
That's really good. That's really
if
good.
you put that in, it'll stop just that single deploy from happening, which is great for documentation. You shouldn't be billed for that, right?
That's smart.
yeah.
Danny should clip that. He's one of our mods. That'd be cool.
So yeah, with that said, within my application,
Before we continue, there's a question here from Plasmo. Can you host multiple sites under the same Amplify project? I guess you can. You can set different, like, as Michael did, setting up all the environments. You can actually set up that, and you can have route for different parts of your application if you need to. So
exactly where your master branch would look one way with one backend, and then your develop branch would look completely different, but it could use that exact same backend.
exact same backend. Yeah.
Yeah, good question.
503 service unavailable. Where? In that URL?
That's
nope, I have it.
No. I asked him to clip something, so he's just making a joke.
Oh.
Okay.
Awesome. But yeah,
Wow, that is such a joke. It's a programmer joke.
it
It's a good joke.
But with that, that's how one developer can set up multiple environments so that they themselves can have sort of a team-based flow. But what Horacio is going to demonstrate is how we can take my backend and sort of make a PR to it, even though he's going to create his own sandbox environment. So not use my credentials. He's going to create his own. I think we can, if you want to take it from here.
Yeah, let me share. Here. Doop.
Do I need to stop sharing?
No. Well, I think you can. But it should have switched.
So I'm in, let me just put this bigger. I'm in the actual project. So if I do git fetch, get fetch, all, because I forked his repo. So I have my repo in the origin remote and his repo is in upstream.
Can you
So
zoom
now
in real quick?
Sorry?
Sorry, can you zoom in on your terminal?
Yeah.
Or bump the size.
There you go. Is that better?
Maybe one more.
One more.
I think
Yeah,
it's
that's
good.
good.
How about that? Nice. So yeah, you see that I got both branches that Michael already created. So I can just do check out. I never remember how to do. Oh yeah, check out develop. So now I'm in that develop. I'm gonna do git push origin. I'm gonna push that branch as it is to my fork. Stream develop. Yeah. Not found GTI. If I can type origin. go. Let's pushing that as it is. So now, actually, so now I need to let me know if I'm wrong, Michael. I need to actually do amplify init, create a new environment, and then like start adding things, features to that environment. Is that right?
Yeah, on your new branch though.
Yeah. So
Oh wait, yeah, this is your fork. You're good.
yeah, so this is my developed fork branch. So I'm in a new slate, new branch. No conflicts here. So I can do amplify init in inti. Init. So here it says, do you want to use an existing environment? Here's when I'm curious. Should I use a new one? Should I just create a new one?
So this is going to be you creating a new one.
Yeah. So
because
no.
yeah, unless I shared like my actual credentials with you,
There you go.
you wouldn't have access to it.
So name, I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna call it dev because it's
So
gonna
he's
be
gonna.
my.
Well, I was just gonna say, so he's gonna have his own set of prod and dev then, Michael.
Yes.
Why not though? If you give him an IAM user, then you could. I guess you'd have to be sharing the same account. Is what you're saying.
Yeah. So there's
that is an alternative though.
Definitely.
We discussed this like before the stream. This is one way of doing it, that we don't share the same backend. We are just working in our accounts and creating our own backends, our own sandboxes. But there's also a way that you can share the same backend, so I can actually pull Michael's environment. I can merge those environments. I can do whatever I want with those exact environments. But in this case, because we don't want it to mess up with IAM or credentials or anything, we're just going to do it separately. So that's going to create, I'm going to create a dev environment in my account, in my profile.
Right.
Okay.
I think for like friends working on projects, it makes sense. But if this were like a company, you'd probably just share
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So now it's going to do the same process. Do you want to use an AWS profile? Yes. I'm going to use the Horacio testing, and it's going to do everything that it needs to do.
What are those errors?
So while this is doing, I actually can start. No, I cannot start because I haven't created the API. But let me just go. Let me just go and show you what I'm going to do. Actually, I'm going to persist all this data and add an API to actually store these to-dos and do all the and actually handle all the functions, all the mutations that we need to add here. So so one question. So with this approach, do you both still have the same source of truth? Yes, because we're sharing, we're starting from the same code base. So that's why we have the same source of truth. Does that mean it's safe to share Amplify configs publicly for open source projects? I don't know how to answer that.
Well, it depends on what was the question? What config file you're talking about? Because there are several.
Yeah, there's Plasmo ask, does that mean it's safe to share Amplify configs publicly for open source projects?
Yep, as long as you're not going to be sharing your AWS exports file, then you're good. That's what contains all of your secrets.
Yeah, which actually Amplify added in your git ignore by default. So here it is. So it's going to be ignored by default. This is done by Amplify too. I have also needed tricks about Amplify though. So you see, I know that this is generated.
So that came with the project.
This is added whenever you do Amplify Init.
Yeah, right.
So because it knows what it needs to be ignored, so it's safe. Build configs dots the building git ignore height. Yeah. There's no more questions I see here, and this is taking a little bit longer. That's good. Is there any other questions that people want to?
Yeah, please ask in chat if you have
Yeah.
any questions about. I feel like we can also ask about really anything in Amplify.
How many people in the chat is using Amplify already?
Actually, you know what? Let's do a poll.
There you go. So your question, gold points. So if Michael pushes, you can pull his changes. Yes, I can.
Do you want to mention that? That was a good point that you brought up in our discussions, where we're not sharing how Amplify works. Is we're sharing CloudFormation stacks, so we're not sharing actual like backend resources. It's just more templates saying, "Hey, this is what that project had. You're
There
gonna
you
have to create your own."
Oh, the poll is live, by the way, if everyone wants to vote.
Yeah. So essentially, what the Amplify CLI is gonna see is all the CloudFormation templates and everything that is generated by Amplify on each machine. So whenever Michael changes something and I pull those changes, I can get those changes also to my backend and update it so I can have everything. We can have everything in sync. So so hi,
Wow,
I'm new to
we're getting a
Amplify.
lot of votes.
I don't see the votes. No, I'm using, yeah.
Most people are not using Amplify today.
So next poll will be why you're not using Amplify. No, I'm
Just
joking.
write in chat, yeah.
Those so there are some questions here. I'm thinking of doing Amplify, but I can't implement it in my company yet due to not be able to block it by IP. Is this running? I don't know. So does the Amplify auto deploy work with serverless, like hosting serverless Next.js?
It
I
does.
think it does.
Just not with just not with the server-side rendering portion. That's coming in a couple months, but or coming to be determined. I don't know if that's public or not, but it's in the pipeline.
So you are changing the Amplify configs. What if you add an S3 bucket? Do you define bucket names in env file that is not shared? Yes, the S3 buckets are set up in the AWS exports, so you can create yours, and there's not going to be any conflicts, as far as I know. Tell me if I'm wrong.
I'm curious of it. Shouldn't take this long to initialize.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why it's taking long. It's taking too long.
I think there's a problem.
Yeah, I think those errors mean something.
So I think you should control
Stop and
here.
start.
Tests.
Okay. So should I do?
You want to check out the errors? I don't know what. Can you scroll up a bit? I don't know what the errors are.
So initializing access denied.
Yeah, what does that mean?
It means that your credentials in your profile aren't linked.
Okay, so let me use another.
Show them. Just be careful about.
Let me use another profile, maybe. Do you want no? So it's gonna be dev.
I think if you log out your access key, then it'll work. Yeah. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Should I put in the chat?
Always read the errors, guys. Always read the errors.
You should show it. We're just sitting here while all the errors are like right above.
So no, I need to actually go to the code and see what is. So st. Yeah, that's not.
You should show everyone everything.
No, I'm not gonna show anything. I want to select another profile. Do you want to use no? I don't want to use another one, so I want to use dev. Using default profile. Maybe. Yeah, those errors.
Can you not name it dev?
I don't think that's the problem. I think it's the profile that I selected is not okay.
Like the keys
So-
are expired.
Yeah, maybe that
Oh,
is.
gotcha. It's been a little
Yeah.
bit since you.
Yeah, maybe that is. So Init, because I usually use my Horacio one, I just said maybe this is for testing. I'm gonna use the testing, and that failed. Yeah, that happens. So no, this is not gonna change. Dev 2. Okay, dev. No, it's using the same profile. I need to. Okay, so yeah, good. Do you want to use? Yes, I want to use this one, and this one is new, so it's not gonna have any problems. I hope. Actually, I did that on Monday, so it's not gonna have any problem. Yay! Now it's creating. Good.
Yay.
Amplify is neat. Good to see. So let's go to the chat
We're
again.
just sitting there. We're just like, huh.
That's really funny. Like, anyone have questions?
Yeah.
While our error sits.
While this error we didn't see before, and yeah, I don't like the errors doesn't show well here because this is like a very plain like setting in VS Code, because I use this setting for videos and streaming and things, so I don't have any too much extensions.
You
So
need that Scarlet Beta theme.
yeah, I need the Scarlet
helps
Beta
out.
thing. I need to just do your thing. Yeah. Yeah. So it's not initializing. Good. So yeah. Hopefully when this finishes, I can create an API. I can go fast and do all those changes. Okay, good. So now let's do Amplify Add API. So yes, GraphQL. Yeah. API key, I don't care. No descriptions. Default 7 days. I don't want to configure no settings. I don't want to configure extra settings or advanced settings. Do you have an annotated schema? No. It's going to be a single object with fields, which is a to-do. If I'm going too fast, let me know. Okay, so do you want to edit schema now? No. Okay, because actually I don't need to edit anything yet. If I open schema GraphQL, you see that the default schema is the one that we need, which is ID, name, a description for a to-do. We later, I don't know if you want me to do the completed now. I don't know how much time we have, or
I think we're good on time.
We have, well, so I'm laughing because we always run out of time.
10 minutes.
So
10
we
minutes.
should say there's like 10 minutes left.
10 minutes left. No, so there is no complete yet, or maybe I can just add it. Completed equals is a Boolean. So I'm adding a value, and this will be required. This is what I'm saying here. So let's do and go to the code.
Did you want to switch name to title?
Let's switch the title because the boss said so. So now I can just shrink this a little bit. I can do yarn start, and it's gonna run the project. Actually, I'm gonna move it to the bot. I'm gonna move it to the bottom panel, to the bottom. So I have here this. I can move that here. I can bump a little bit, and then also move that. So now I can go to form, to do form, and I'm gonna import. Here is when I create the handle submit. So we're gonna just connect everything. Oh, I need to also install AWS Amplify and the UI React. So I think I got it already.
Yeah, it's installed.
Yeah, package JSON. Yeah, it is here. So we have that. You need to install that in order to use it in a React application. This is for every framework JavaScript app. So then let's go here and do import API from AWS Amplify. Okay, and also I'm gonna import. This is create. Let me just from that will be, I think, I'm here. I need to go back. Where is it? The GraphQL. Oh, I need to do the GQL compile.
If you just push it, that'll
yeah,
kind of knock out both in one step.
okay. Amplify push. So whenever you push your Amplify setup to the cloud, it's gonna also generate all the queries. Actually, let me just put this here so you can see. I'm gonna stop. Close. So it's gonna say, hey, you created an API, and it's like you're creating an API. So are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. So this is gonna also create, compile the GraphQL schema, and it's gonna say, do you want to generate code for your GraphQL API? I'm gonna say yes. I'm using TypeScript. It's gonna generate it in the source GraphQL anything.js. Do you want to generate, update everything? I'm gonna generate everything. And enter maximum statements. This is how much nesting do you want in your GraphQL queries. Default is 2, so and that works for me. So you see here that if I reload, I should have the GraphQL folder over there in anytime soon. So yeah, it's creating everything good. Okay, there's no GraphQL folder yet. I guess it's gonna do it later, but I'm just gonna continue because I know what's gonna create. So this is gonna be GraphQL mutations.
The cops are coming because somebody stole the GraphQL folder.
So and then I can go to handle submit, and instead of, actually, I'm not gonna, we were using a ref to update the ID of each to do. We're not gonna do that.
Is that coming from me? The sirens?
I don't know. So handle submit. Where is handle submit coming from? Handle submit is pass. Okay, so yeah, I can just remove this and put it in app. Because handle submit is here. So I can just go and say import everything here, and then go here and say this is an async function, const result equals await API dot GraphQL. Sorry, is GraphQL. And then you can, there's different ways to do this. I prefer to do it with the object. So it's I need to pass a queries. Is queries query? I don't remember.
It's just query.
Query. So here I need to pass the create to do. And then because I need to pass variables to this query, actually, it will be nice if I have the GraphQL generation here. I don't know why it's not creating it, but
I think something's off because it should have created it first.
It's one of the final steps. So right now, it's,
okay.
yeah. It's
why is it?
It's just creating the whole thing in. You're just putting everything in Amplify. That's fine. So I know I'm gonna show you later that the variables that this mutation, because this is gonna be a mutation, accepts. There you go. So now it's everything created. I have here GraphQL.
There you go.
We can go to mutations, and you see that I have a mutation called create to do, which accepts an input, and that input, if we go and I think we can go and find that. No, this is gonna be weird to show. So the input is actually everything that is here: the title, the description, and the completed state of that to do. So I need to pass input, And here, I think I can just pass new to do. And that will be it. So whenever this, I'm just gonna console log first, because that's what we do as JavaScript developers. Result. And now I can go here and do yarn start again. It's gonna run here. No, I don't want a new file. So starting the server, it's running. Come on. Actually, I'm gonna move this here so I can see you guys. Okay, I'm good at battery. Suspense. Is this gonna work? Who knows? Okay, to-do ID is not defined because I'm using to-do ID where into the form. So let's go. To-do ID. So now I can just actually remove that. Title completed false. Their description is not needed. Am I using? No. So good. So whenever if I open the console and put it at the bottom, I bump this a lot, not much. I do hello AWS with friends. If I can type, I click here and I got an error. Why? Oh, I need to do Amplify Init.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Amplify configure.
So this is done here. So I can just go import. Is this Amplify from? Is this a default export? I don't remember. AWS Amplify. And then I can do import also config from this is coming from Explorer. Is outside source? No, it's inside source. Good, yeah. So I can do AWS export.
This is a good call out as you're doing that. Is like this is a good error to get, right? If you don't have your credentials set up, then it's not going to allow you to make these changes to a backend. You have to have the right configuration.
Why is complaining reorder? Really?
Your imports have to be top level. So import app. You just want, yeah.
Okay. So now it's running. No
There's
errors.
VS
Good.
Code
Successful.
extension you can use.
I can just to do. Boom. And I have the result here. Yay! I created my first create to do. So now I need to take this and let's go to the form. No, actually to app. And here, when that finishes, so I need to actually set to dos. And that will be, I can just create, so I can actually do result, data, create to do, and that's it. But yeah. And if everything works well, I can do that. And there you go. And we have it here. All the service queries and mutation are created in the backend. Yes. What else? So let's do a list.
We have about a minute to 2 minutes max, just to add some pressure.
Okay.
We need more time for this show, I think, because we have this.
That's not helping. Well, you get the idea. Yeah. I mean, now actually those changes, if I do this, you see that I change things in the Amplify backend API. So I can just do git add everything, git commit, my changes. I can just do git push. Yeah, I think it's gonna push to my origin, and then I can do a PR to Michael, and Michael can merge, and he'll have all those changes, so he can actually push those things to his account and to his environment.
Yay!
And both we are working on the same project. It was painful, but we made it a little bit. Yay!
Sweet. So we do need to cut in a second. If there are any follow-up questions or thoughts or anything like that, the best place would be to go to Discord. So I've just put our Discord again in the chat. So if there's follow-up questions, both Horacio and Michael are in Discord, and they're both community builders. So they'll be available. And with that, we have to sign off. So thank you both for joining. This is really cool. And
Definitely.
yeah, we'll try to find
really
more
great
time
job.
next time. I thought this was a really cool one.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, I'll see everybody later. Bye.
Bye.
Later.